Hello everyone. On behalf of EMA, I'd like to welcome you all to this engaging session. Um, so today we're talking about Ahmedabad Next and the Foodpreneur stories. Ahmedabad Next is a unique collaborative initiative to bring the insightful discussion on management, businesses, startup, and growth stories from Gujarat. At the AT resonates to the resilience of an Ahmedabadi who excels despite all the odds. This is a collaboration initiative for each and Ventures and AMA and Communicate Karo. Today, I would like to invite the speakers for the event. Starting off with Mr. Nirav, the CEO of FC Hotels, is a seasoned hotelier and a businessman with a passion for building brands and networks.
Mr. Nadeem is the founder and chief mentor of Hearty Mart, which is a chain of supermarkets in rural Gujarat. He is a management graduate who worked in the advertising and media industry before turning an entrepreneur in 2004. Mr. Shaival Desai is the Chief Growth Officer at Paid Puja. The platform Paid Puja has made its name for being the most simple yet powerful restaurant management software in the market. Paid Puja is used by 30,000 plus restaurants in India, UAE, and South Africa. Ms. Supriya Gupta is a partner at Bentaby, a first of its kind food club and restaurant in Ahmedabad. Supriya also leads the Info Analytica Foundation and is responsible for managing and driving the CSR initiatives of Info Analytica. I would now like to also welcome the moderators for the session. Mr. Jatin Chaudhary is the founder of Desai Ventures, an online and offline global platform for startups. And Mr. Kumar Manish is the founder of Communicate Karo and is a communication and social media strategist. I would now like to welcome Mr. Jatin and Mr. Kumar to felicitate our speakers.
Thank you so much, Shan. We'll just directly get started. And it is so great to see that 6 baje log aa gaye time pe. So this is something that we follow very precisely to start on time, finish on time. आज 1 minute late हो गए थे, but eventually idea is to start everything on time and finish on time. We'll just get started. But before that, we want to do a couple of introductions of the participants as well. So somebody who is in the audience is already into food business. We'll take 1 or 2 people from this side and 1 or 2 people from this side. And to save time, mic नहीं घुमाएंगे, जोर से बोल लेना. So Satya, you want to give your introduction? जोर से थोड़ा energy के साथ.
Good night, sir. I'm Satya Mehta. I'm founder of Oxygen Housing as but we probably more open.
Okay. Anyone else from this side, and then we'll get started with our discussions. Not necessarily into food, but interested in food. Anybody here would like to volunteer to introduce yourself? Yes, louder. थोड़ा जोर से बोलना. Okay, awesome. Yes. One person from this side. Yes, sir. जोर से बोलो एकदम. Okay, awesome. Yes, sir, आपके बारे में. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So we'll just get started. So as some of you would have already attended some of the programs that we do, so there is a panel and me and Kumar will ask them questions, but we'll open up for participants also. So I'll just get started. So to get this context that people will get more context about what you are doing. Nirav, brief about you and how you got into food. आप होटल में हो तो आप इनडायरेक्टली हर एक बिजनेस में होंगे टेक वाला एलिमेंट भी आएगा हर एक एलिमेंट आएगा बट brief about you and how you got into this business.
Hello. So I've done my hotel management, and the idea was never to own hotels. It was always about working in them. And opportunity came in 2012 to get into hotels. So we now have two operational hotels. One is in Bhavnagar, the other one is in Ahmedabad. And hotel management came out of accident. It was the easiest graduation to do when you don't have very good marks in 12th. So that's how the journey started. And now actually I'm glad that I didn't score much and doing hotel management. So that's us.
Okay, awesome. Shaival, you were the ranker, right?
I did decently well, but food was honestly an accident. So my background, I'm a mechanical engineer, then I'm a financial analyst as well. And then somehow ended up in marketing and product. So it's been an interesting ride.
Okay. Nadeem bhai?
So basically I was an ad professional. I worked in advertising and media for almost 8 years. One fine day I found that my career is not moving forward and I decided to turn an entrepreneur. So I was trying to figure out where to start and what should I do. But luckily for me, there is a social network which I'm very close to. They are called Chilias. They own loads of restaurants across Gujarat. So I thought if I milk this relationship with their idea of food grocery and my idea of branding communication, I can create a business model which can be very unique, very different. And that is how Hearty Mart was born on 11th February 2004 and I turned entrepreneur.
Okay, awesome. And Supriya, you lead this foundation and there is a restaurant. So a lot of people say that, at the end of the day, they want to start up a cafe or a restaurant.
Absolutely right, because that is how I was going to start my, introduction is that, to me, honestly, I don't know why I'm here, because to me, food and business doesn't go together. So I'm somebody who's from a Marwadi family. I love food and I love serving, and charging for it, to me, feels wrong. And for that matter, in COVID also, we served about 5 lakh people and we didn't charge a penny. To me, food should never be charged. However,
but half of the people here are trying to figure out a business in that. Yes.
I mean, that's why I'm here. So, but every coin has two sides, and they say that in karma, in Hindu karma, they also say that no meal is free, right? So I think for that matter, if you serve khichdi at home, it doesn't have a price. If you serve khichdi at mandir, it is priceless. If you serve khichdi at a restaurant, it has a price. So that distinction is very clear. I'm also Marwadi Paniya, so it makes sense.
Okay.
And also because I'm a foodie, and to me, you can look at me that I don't look like a foodie. So I'm a fitness foodie, and I always crave healthy food when I go out. I'm very fussy. मैं हर चीज़ में बहुत गड़बड़ निकालती हूँ. So then I started my own restaurant, which is a Japanese restaurant. We serve very healthy and fresh food, and I would love to promote about it. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. So we'll clap. So between Kumar and me, we'll continue asking them a lot of questions. Kumar, you want to start with any questions you have for anyone?
To start from Nirav, and if you look at the Ahmedabad landscape, especially in terms of hospitality industry, and we are seeing a very flurry of hotels coming up. So how do you see this thing? So do you think there's a scope, especially because we're talking about Ahmedabad or Ahmedabad next? So what kind of future you see in Ahmedabad, especially from the perspective of hospitality industry? And what is things which you actually envision is going to happen in the city, especially in this particular industry?
So it's a mixed bag forecast right now as far as my personal forecast goes. I think Ahmedabad hotels will do phenomenally well, but that success will be limited to the rooms part of it. Hotels have two separate revenue streams. One is rooms, another one is food and beverage. As far as food and beverage goes, Ahmedabad hotels are not doing so well. A lot of it also happens because of the success of standalone restaurants. Other thing is that food is, in general, is a very fast changing trend. By the time you get to your palate gets used to the Thai food, the next big thing is the Japanese food or Italian food. For hotel to change that with time is very difficult, whereas standalone restaurant can do it relatively easy. So, to sum it up, I think going forward, Ahmedabad hotels will see a growth, but it will be limited to rooms and maybe some banquet. As far as restaurants go, I don't see Ahmedabad hotel restaurants doing very well beyond a certain point. Or that.
Okay. Shaival, I have a question for you. So you build a business, जो restaurants को बेचते हैं कुछ. So you build a software solution. So what have been your experience in selling it to the restaurants? What are the feedback you were getting in? Initial lot of startups have this hypothesis that we will build this solution and we will sell it, and then you get feedback from the consumers, then you change something. So in your case, what was that evolution in Pet Puja's case?
So I think a lot of software companies have missed this, where SMBs, which restaurants, most of them are small and medium businesses, right? They don't want a product, they want a solution, right? And they want a single point solution. And I think over the course of our journey, that's what we have realized, that software, so it is SaaS, software as a service, but software and service are going to go together, right? And I think this is one of the key learnings in the process. We've also seen that they don't, see, you want to pitch the fanciest things to them. They care about operational efficiency and they care about whether their staff can actually adopt their technology or not. Once adopted, they really don't care beyond that point, right? So you really have to look at ground level adoption. So I'll give you an example, right? We are very focused on independent outlets and small chains. But for the first, and from day zero, we said we'd never onboard Domino's. This time, so Ahar is India's biggest F&B expo that happens at Pragati Maidan. They have some 2 lakh visitors, right? Domino's actually came to our stall and told us our own thesis. कि यार एक्चुअली हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर इतना हार्ड कोड हमने कर दिया ना कि हम ऑफर शांति से रन नहीं कर पाते हैं. वी कांट मेक दोज चेंजेस, राइट? Which is when we realize कि नहीं यार, the same problems that exist in SMBs also exist in enterprises, just not at the corporate level, but at the store level, the problems are very similar. So I think this is what we learned.
Okay.
Yes. So now
हम relay play करेंगे.
Nadeem bhai. So Nadeem bhai, there's a lot of discussion happening around franchising model, है ना? And you have been, I think I read also your LinkedIn post and also on the franchising model which you recently written on the platform. So we want to understand exactly what are the things which we should look at the franchising model, because there's a lot of debate happening around it. There's a lot of commitment around the franchising model. They are successful, there are some challenging, there's some controversial. So from your own background and from your own experiences, how do you see franchisee model working or not working?
So franchisee model is basically 2 parties coming together for a common goal. So it is more like a marriage where you need to understand each other and work together. Having said that, there are a few points which I would like to highlight here. When we started franchisee of our supermarket, we did not have lots of skill set with us. So we thought that if we offer a franchisee at a rural level, what are the things which they would look for? So we started working on creating a backend, an ecosystem, and support them rather than providing a product through a supply chain, which was very difficult for a multi-brand supermarket chain because margins are very less. So we came up with an ecosystem and we created a franchising model. So and there is always a legal document involved where you have to, as a franchisor, you need to jot down what is the offer which you will be committed to give it to your franchisee. And the same way, what expectations are there from their side. If these two match, and if you continuously commit that, I don't think there is any dispute whatsoever. There is always an exit model. You can exit the time at a time which is mentioned there. I think I answered that.
No, we'll move on. Okay, so Supriya, restaurant के बारे में लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं कि चालू होते हैं बंद हो जाते 6 महीने के बाद. And you come with this ethical entry point to it that ऐसा noble business होना चाहिए. So what makes you take?
I'm glad you accept that we take first of all. And we're almost 2 years old and we already have two, one in Ahmedabad and Baroda. To answer your question, I think I'm neither a restaurant nor a business, like I said. We started because me and my partner Amit, we both are foodies. We love good food and it's our passion project. We started a small 35-seater restaurant and it's a very earnest attempt and people liked it and that's what it's working. There was absolutely no logic to it.
Wow. So there are a set of questions we'll continue to ask. I have a question for Shan also, but anyone from the participants would want to ask a question. But when you ask a question, try to be very specific and towards a very specific individual. So we can take more questions. Yes. जोर से पूछ लो सर.
Ask both questions to your defense, sorry. So other franchisees that can't directly back to models, right? The franchisees giving access to online and offline orders it's with, and they just come offline with that. So what is your take on the franchisee? Whether we know the coming franchisee, so the growth of it is just the offline territory that is covered in the franchisee.
Offline or online, it's just a way of and free support. I mean, the way you cater to a customer. I don't think franchising model changes in hand. Either way, the basic principle of franchising remains same. If you have an online platform and if you are providing a franchisee, say, suppose online franchisee to someone, the same principle you can, on the same principle you can provide. And if there is a written document, what is the offer you are going to give it to them and what we expect out, right? So I don't think there will be any change online or offline. I hope I am able to answer for you.
There was a question? The question was regarding, for example, Hyderabad gives a Bengali candidate. And so at the current time, sitting with Kraga, it was the average of company application or website. Yeah. So now if a customer is ordering in Gandhinagar from the website, do you think on you suggest on order they work at pass off their order to the Gandhinagar franchisee or it is catered to the send?
No, so but if we have not entered to that. But in case if we enter into that, we will have a pin code particular on the system where if that pin code is keyed in and we know order is coming from that pin code, then my franchisee night the order will go. Right.
Okay. We move on to the next question. Yes. Joseph, or specific in your turn.
All right. So just for me, taking the word.
Louder.
Yeah. So when you said that there's a quick or no, then we restricted this way. It just what idea? What would be the so that in a percentage or out of the take over the sort of turnover and miss it. He doesn't know how to do that. In terms of the they don't think that I think as far as Ahmedabad or Gujarat, bigger cities in Gujarat, well, I think probably restaurants would last. And this applies to a majority, not about specifically, not all the bullets. The reason behind it is that when restaurant is someone else's business, all you see is customer walking in and walking out, paying the bills. What you don't realize is the expenses part, which is huge. We can still go in his hands. The way property prices are going up, I think every restaurant, I feel the patient is a big cost. Second big cost is your labor. And still, so any restaurant, a good chef, I think that's the key. And you already, one person who's going to pay fighter is more. One was the job. See it all. You know, I think those are the biggest challenges for any restaurant we face. And that's why I think in Gujarat, not any, and when I say this, I'm not both affiliate or maybe what make it both, but not being able to serve our fun in the restaurant plays a big part because majority of the profit in the restaurant comes a key on is sale of market. So that's what sustains the business. Good on that. The second structure was king. Store out we did this type of one which size gross took 32% is the John paid of the response system levels. I mean, since this on a very large data is roughly 3.3 years, rough, or then you are making response.
Okay, there are series. So anyway, Jordan, the picture of us are in that. And the mechanism to is fire. If I know the other type 10 restaurants will have worked for it. But I went with this was a one monthly. Right now, how is development the places? Popo Desai, I want Desai, I don't want it. Is that also a reason why people are like, that when they go more often than people, say like for example in Ahmedabad without second set of restaurant, but John every 14 years been on business. Every other day, 10 people opening a shop and 6-star go. So is that how the focus is shifted from food being more stuck out of where the being everything with the plate? What do you think is up? Supriya and wondering about?
I think it's underway. So however Instagrammable it is, people will go there once or twice, but it won't survive if the food is not good. The reason why they're sticking around, for example, Swati is our neighboring restaurant. It's been around for about 30 or 40 years, right? Or for that matter, any other restaurant. So Instagrammable keeps you hanging or popular for the initial 6 months, but what stays is good food and quality service. To me, that's what I think.
Okay. Yes. Lumber. You went quite a
That was about. I did a call this. Yeah, to another idea of something. I went the morning was good. I do think that this rough good quantity and it was burnt out of this.
maybe. So what is the question? I try to keep it. The question is often your source here.
I hope I had that first time, but with the one, I'll keep it quick. So I'll start with your second question, which is absolutely valid. It was super risky. I was starting a Jafri restaurant in Ahmedabad that to vegetarian. People would think you were nuts, and we still think they're nuts. But because in Ahmedabad the culture is that in Delhi, if you see there are a group of men hiking down, or a group of women hiking out. In Mumbai, you see it's fully youngsters and couples. In Ahmedabad, it's families. So dada, dadi, kaka, kaki, bachi, sab saath mein khulte hain. And to serve them food at a restaurant like a Japanese restaurant is very difficult. So mostly multi-cuisine restaurants going. So standalone restaurants, it's a very risky business. However, these days people are looking for, last 5 years I would say, people are looking for authentic food, good food, and interesting experience like Susan pointed. So perhaps that combination works. But it's a risk for sure. Coming to your first question, why we started this, which kind of includes the second question also, is that so my partner, like I said, I have no idea what kind of a Japanese gene he has in his head, but he's always been a Japan freak. So he's somebody who's very fond of food, good food. The way they plate the food, the way we chop the vegetables, he's a perfectionist. We created the theory of Kaizen. He's a upcoming fan. He's very fun. He keeps running all the time. So we always wanted to have something which offers that perfect experience. So we call ourselves a community tiger. We never wanted to start a restaurant or a business or something, but we wanted to have a Japanese community in Ahmedabad which appreciates this kind of perfection and precision. And that's how we started a tiny, and the specialty of Japanese restaurants are very tiny, very small. And we had absolutely no experience of hotel industry. So we just started a small thing, luckily it worked well, perhaps because we really invested in it.
Okay, so that no thing. We said PA.
Almost 250 Japanese companies in Ahmedabad. At one time, it was just 6 companies. And if we add the subsidiary, the Japanese subsidiary was in Ahmedabad, that we crossed to 450. There are almost 750 families, Japanese families, who are living right in the area, and also there's a whole new audience have also come up.
Sure. But you know what? So many I know restaurants definitely when I'm sorry about with what I can see how are the gay people that we both with
It was done in that form accessible to the common audience. It's only for the Japanese team. So that's how they're probably working or not working, I'm not really sure. Ours is for the book. So we have the Asian population also coming, they are the tourists also coming, they are the local people also coming. But that's working for us so far.
Okay, and also from the inventory, what years you just think about business by being rich.
But it's very interesting. So we didn't have an option, because the building that put up, and we really got the space. The location is super important in restaurants. So we were very fussy about that location. And he said, you can't put up flatbed. So we went by that. It actually worked for us. Because a lot of people here who are, I don't know, sorry if I say that, but a lot of people who are money here are actually either vegetarians, Jains, Swaniharites. And these are people, and the locality, these are people who wouldn't go if it was a veg and non-veg pigs. So it kind of worked for us because a lot of people, so a vegetarian person will have, a non-veg person can have veg, non-veg both, and a veg can have veg, vice versa, right? Then they serve for everybody.
Okay.
And that worked for us.
Nadeem, so you are the same business. You start a business, you establish, and then you do record integration and make it fit. So you started with this retail supermarket, and then there is a huge enterprise business. So when that transition happened, what was the trigger? One बड़ा order नहीं आता वो खुद ही बना देते. It's what known that key trigger for that transition.
So नहीं trigger बहुत बड़ा order आ गया नहीं था. Trigger ये था कि I was on doing well. So my supermarket is a fragmented supermarket chain where every supermarket is independent of the other supermarket. So in a way, what I do, just to give you a background, I try to create an entrepreneur in a rural setup. I empower him and he runs the shop, and what I get is a royalty from it. So actually, my balance sheet में there was no profit. Well, profit नहीं था because I was not involved in supply chain. And so there, I started thinking that there should be a business where I'm negotiating with vendors on economies of scale. And if not retail, then what? So luckily, as I already mentioned, this chicken company was there with their restaurant. So I tried creating a venture which was in between the two extremes. This community, they are enterprising and fortunate for our in cities with hotels. The lesser one are in village with fast. So in दोनों के बीच में I created a venture which is called Ahmedabad Enterprise Private Limited, where now we have a production. We came up to Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan. We came up to Pilsner, and I plus restaurant there, and we have made our own brand. Our brand is 12.8 million car chef brand. We said so just next to the nation. So this one in we so whatever benefit I got by talking to vendors, I passed off that metric discounts to the franchising. Or franchisee started scaling up. Now I'm working with that daily rice, spices, discount. Because मुझे वैसे दे 500 order के लिए मिल जाता, right? So this model, that makes model was created.
Okay. अच्छा, शाम ने हम सबको introduce किया, साथ में introduction बाकी हो गया था. I think तो शाम you mentioned that your business is proper into fitting machine. तो अभी food tech की बात होती है तो वो IT वाला like people want more, but that's the only one it can. तो आपका काम क्या है? आप थोड़ा बताइए आपका बात. Mike.
My passion. Alcohol, with the sauce. Yeah, pleasure.
Yep. So we make machinery for plastic packaging, and that is also involved in the FMCG sector. So काफी जो food का जो packaging रहते हैं, जिसकी अधीरा की pouches रहते हैं, cheese packing रहता है, wheat packing रहता है, तो हम उसकी machinery manufacture करते हैं, and ज़्यादा हम export करते हैं things. Okay. Unpending asking that question. Kumar, you want to ask the question? We'll take a audience out there.
Shaival, because you have been dealing with the restaurant on a regular basis. So now one can, that is human observation, but what really makes the restaurant click? Maybe in Ahmedabad, the practice or overload context, and when you think that the things which making the restaurant stay, so you can just explain or maybe share an insights from there.
So, according to me, what I've seen is there has to be a good mix of, something that you can relate to with spiced up with certain shades. So you keep your hero items the same, which retains a certain clientele, and then you keep adding a portion of the menu. You keep updating it so that the people actually look forward to something. There's been a lot of outlets in Ahmedabad and even Mumbai would often this approach, and they've done well. In terms of why restaurants fail, so we see a lot of restaurants, their operations, and I think the largest part is people are not able to keep a track of their food costs, right? So they made food costing when, say, tomato or 10 rupees and go today they're 30, they don't know that they budgeted for a 30% food buck, the front end's 50, right? And because the inventory is slightly cumbersome, and not a lot of people do food costing the correct way, don't do variances the correct way. So there were a lot of outlets who said, okay, my chef will put 5 grams of cheese and bet my costing makes sense, but your chef is at you putting 8 grams, right? Your costing is all out of whack.
So I think this is one large problem. That
They're also getting into, like, for example, training, how to...
yes, okay, yeah. So we do complete trading there. We also help them with inventory, inwarding, and all of that. So we are present in the core issue, right? And we want our customers to survive so that they can keep paying us and we invested into the FM part.
Yes. आपके लिए क्वेश्चन है, आपने जैसे बताया कि होटल का रेस्टोरेंट में तो प्रायोरिटी ये सारा उसका करने का है, तो आपके हिसाब से व्हाट आर द प्रोज एंड कॉन्स ऑफ होटल रनिंग योर कौन सी चीज़ अच्छी हो जाती है इट इज़ पार्ट ऑफ ऑर्डर, कौन सी चीज़ों में और इज इट ऑर्डर होता है इट्स पार्ट ऑफ द ऑर्डर?
So I think hotel restaurants have this intimate images. Whenever you look, because when you have to enter a hotel restaurant, when you're not a guest of the hotel, you actually go through the whole plethora of security, scanning, and whatnot. So that itself creates a stigma for anyone who wants to just go and have pulao by the right eye. So I think one of the biggest factors why hotel restaurants don't do well is because of that image or the persona that it has. The pros of it is the menu of the check, because you look at hotel guest is the only people gonna come and dine in your restaurant. The cons is that when the season is not there or the rooms part is not doing very well, ideally your F&B or your food and beverage is supporting it, and that doesn't happen. So then you're actually losing out money on both the factors. So I think those are the two biggest pros and cons.
I would like to add something here, because since we're talking about food industry, my understanding is that it's a very generic and a very broad term. So when you see from a QSR, from a something setting up, then dal vada of this Ambika dal vada guy, right? Or you have the guy who's selling that vada pav thing, right, Ahmedabad. Jai, right? So that model, basically the hotels that Nirav is running, is a vast range. Alright, so I think it is not a simple one solution for everything. So because I think the Jai Bhavani one of our the Ambika guy, I want the opening center, they can't still happen out of the way. These guys are only centers across the world. They must be running in hundreds and hundreds. And that guy's multi-millionaire, much richer than Petu. Okay. But the positioning of Pentobi is very different, right? And the kind of audience is very different. So the success is a very subjective term. And I think every business model in food industry has a very unique, which is a very generic, a very jargonized term in market, which is USP. Very particular USP, but consistency plays into you. So even if you're serving dal vada and it is consistent for 20, 30 years, that works. Simple.
Also, tastes like Nirav's. Example that he takes it more like a vocation and less involved when you go out through space. What like that? You didn't often do a better kind of smart money. And I told him, chocolate. You should. And a bit of that. That's the reason also there are some names that he's up an audience question now. Yes, ma'am. No good.
So, if we're talking about Ambika and Jai Bhavani, right, so that the pricing also matters, where it's affordable more for the college students, also for anyone, right? So there it will be, I don't have a question, I was
Pointing your thing is off.
So because that I have seen it, like pricing really matters.
Yep. No, thank you for that. We will push it. Yes, sir.
Please.
Although, the concept in the hoteling industry is should maintain like consistent quality, right? Brings the loyalty to the customer. That is why the outlets are salvation. Using the other proper consistent food, writing to that. Just like Chinese food, right with the night time. Without the night time. There can be food which is being served in not our food in Ahmedabad is not met with that. If we are trying to make it, I was in Pokemon is in the we not only build a great in the bias metal, but in without. We did everything. So that him comes consistently. But we did that. How do you take that restaurant by that? Yeah. Yes, I bet. Yeah. Okay. Point them is a bit. We still need to know about that. Right over with my I have all the to get these offers of 9 million, but I didn't quite. I'm yet. Am I
I understand that the management, the five, and as well had to make that many things. Is it genetic with it? Coming to the consistency, quality energy, third things, how you would South Africa behind you something. We're just going relax. Anyway, okay, he was bad. So, thank you so much for attending this thing. अच्छा तो गवर्नमेंट ना कोटा पूरा हो गया अभी भी और क्वेश्चन देम ऑन यू आस्क यस ओके
I know guys not of faults. My question is if people voting on a startup with a creative but cool, how many then? Love the best. Yet other some people that we can touch them but by previous great creature like what the fact I'm working in a banana white banana. I want the focus on these banana chips and banana white. I walk through the whole problem that and what will be points with which added we call me in filter what key points are very except how we will send this proven level.
Okay. And actually a lot of them can answer who should answer according to What would be the
So, distribution.
To make it honest, you mean like we say restaurant or the part location, I think for your kind of front end distribution is for to be the key, right? And it's going to evolve. I mean, see for B2B, don't get too part of a brand marketing and things around it. Focus on lead gen and just go out there and stand. I mean, don't a lot of people do everything but going knocking on doors and selling. Don't make that mistake. Okay, and you can utilize certain spaces. Like next time you are attending, you will take some of your products, ask a question, and do what and I up. And nobody even knows speaker will you do that one time. What is even you're recording you that door? Sleep me after when they never does it. Yes, so we have a question of the sublogos Khaskar. When you're opening a restaurant, is the whole culture of food bloggers and social media impact. And starting from Supriya, how do you see these food bloggers or social media, or did you take help, or how do you see this whole phenomenon? Does it help industry? How do you see it? And before you answer, Kumar is one such influencer. A food blogger.
Kumar and I have been sitting like this for past 15 years.
And you always wanted all this question to
A coffee shops to back to the agenda but it's a interesting question. So I think for industry, maybe it works because social media is definitely working these days. I mean, people, I think, believe more influencers who are talking about medicine practices on social media than the doctors these days. So I think it really works. Somehow, I don't know, I am probably very convinced of that because the kind of food we serve and the kind of knockers that are coming to us, but I don't have the apprehension. First of all, most of them don't cook. Two, they are not very well-read. Three, what they are doing is mostly visuals, right? So we had mostly bloggers who would come close and they say they want to butter and they want to be like, we serve the food and they talk about it. I'm like, that's not the point. I'll pay you for it, but you have to be well-read for it. We should really know what food is about. And so I think we are one of the black sheeps in the industry. I have not done a single blog narration. So that's already of the bloggers. Well, then, let's see. Yeah, maybe, perhaps. I've never about that. Yes. Yeah. Finally.
Right. And absolutely, because I am not a good CS on.
So I agree with you. I think that is the whole concept is very overrated. People, see, I think, okay, there was a very generalized statement. So, I think if you want to be really good food blogger, you actually need to know your food. In a city where 70%, once again a generalized statement, 70% of the population eats even Japanese food with tomato ketchup, you got your food. So, you have to basically know your food. And you have to know how it gets cooked to be able to be a good food blogger. But if you're just going to go there and click photos and post on Instagram, as a customer, so let's say if I was not in the industry, and I'm seeing you promoting Thai food from 3 different places, I would know there is something wrong with this promotion. So, as far as the food bloggers and food critics go, it would help the industry if the people are actually aware of what they are criticizing or what they are promoting. But would it be the call? It does, but it's very temporary.
Because what happens is that if A is following a food blogger, and if it's not a good food blogger, one or two bad experience will mean that the aim and not go to the third place that food blogger is not, because they already had this bad experience.
But even just any also like what Nirav said, for a somebody running a restaurant, I don't understand who is a good and who is not a better one. There is no filtration for me to identify, because these days every second person, sorry to say that, for content the food blog, they take pictures, posting it, has some certain number of followers. But I'm not convinced how well filter. I cannot, for that matter, as a tiny restaurant or a fashion project, and you are asked them to come and sell food and free food and ask it for a review. Does it help?
If you're the food blogger, then there is a Ahmedabad Twitter that Kumar is planning. And then join us with that and share that into the rest. Yes, I think I had to add this question to Shaival also. So Shaival, because you have been dealing with the restaurants, so do you think that a huge pressure on restaurants and to cater to these food bloggers, or the more, do you see that there was a demand for them to very social media friendly? How do you see it? And you mentioned that you provide a solution, so that is this logic of management of the part of it? So this is actually extremely service driven. So we have part of our doing this. I mean, see, it's essentially going to be the end shape of a restaurant with the bloggers. So it's going to be a very offline activity. But yes, we do see that a lot of restaurants are under pressure to do this. But there are a ton of people like Supriya, right, who have just said, no, I'm going to do what I do. I do it well, and if I continue to execute, people are working about. And there are both class of restaurants. So again, a generalized statement, but what I've seen is the time that Supriya is able to actually survive in the long run, because trends come and go, but if at the core what you're doing is strong, that's how you're able to survive. Okay, we do on in crop as Shubham. Yes, Peter, that are in crop north, goes to this part. Or in the west. One word is that something person, but and words and mouth. People know, pay them and get something for it. It's like, so it's a blogger account. I mean, why? You can do 25 hours in the family, that is one who creates a food deal, they get some biscuit offers in the. Yes, number, Joseph in the house. So my question is to Shaival. So how Fate Puja is thinking to move forward, either by monetizing the data or entering into the food business, through the food business. I think the market is large enough. So by the best part that we have, India has 41 lakh retail FFT outlets, right? All the way the largest we are at 60,000. And the TAM today of people who are using Southbound software is close to 1.5, 3 lakh. Not just that, we're actually expanding international. So we are very clear, your data is your data, we encrypted it, your password, even my team doesn't have access to it. So data monetization is never be, in the process. And another thing I would like to add is, सबको लगता है यार उसका डेटा बोल्ड है, but जब हाथ में देते हो तो कोई कुछ नहीं करता, राइट? हमें कितने एनीथिंग और टूल बाय कोई विजिट नहीं करता है, राइट? और व्हाट डू थिंक फोन नंबर नहीं देता ना, तो इतना गुस्सा हो जाता है कि क्या ही कर लेने वाले फोन नंबर से, रख के डेटा में से इतनी बढ़ती है वो नंबर. Most restaurants don't do anything beyond this point, and that's the harsh reality of it. Okay. Also, I have seen frozen food samples specifically being made for Fate Puja. अच्छा, आपके पास इंसाइडर इन्फॉर्मेशन पिछले आप नहीं यार, हम है कि whether we don't do any kind of supplies, we are only in tech. So I mean, there are a lot of brands actually that there's a restaurant chain also by the name of Fate Puja. So ऐसा would work. It's many, but we will move on now. Yes, Joseph would another. Today, for anybody wants to start a building business for a restaurant, and man, is it better to go with a franchise or to start with their own brand? Yeah, it's a very good question. Own brand or better, aren't you consider that anybody can happily make a part? Anybody will go here.
So if you start with a franchise, it depends how much, how deep your pockets are and what franchise you are looking at. If you are, for an example, if you want to start a pizza or a burger outlet and you want to go to McDonald's, then maybe budgets you need to have deep pockets, right? But it would ensure that you have a steady profile. They need comfort. If you want to create your brand, then again, here you are not paying to start a setup, but you are paying more to learn the customer. So दोनों जगह पे there is an effort. एरिया में आपका effort से पैसा नहीं लेके आपको फ्रेंचाइज क्रिएट करना है और आपका ब्रांड ऑलरेडी क्रिएट है. So ये trade off you have to do. Right? Either way you will learn. But creating a brand and making it successful is a huge task. Right? And fighting on a brand is an easier one if you have money at your
Do you want to? And then something like you.
yeah, 50%.
So I agree with the what Nadeem I saying. It's really, the answer is it would vary from person to person. But at the same time, I also feel that at least 50% of the restaurant franchises that are out there will not be there after 3 years time. The way they are opening up left, right and center, it cannot sustain. This is not a sustainable business model.
So on back on the dev model. So there's the other definitely balance with we get in the famous the trolls beat for the bone names we have this. And so I mean what of no negative what's get down in like now I think is a very either right or is not for so many foods and the way what work but because I'm looking just for this and we expecting in a dating franchising please on be a bit okay for saying all the fuck not. So that question would be like on the when algorithm what is I say it was on how to be I mean it was default rate so the business but was a chef part you as a factor so that you need to let and on the yeah so when they have people you are there she will answer on that can I get your questions that then we don't want to the news out of it. For the best of it.
So whatever controversy we see is because there is lack of commitment because there is certificate which is charged. So just to point there, so any fee you charge setting a franchisee can never be more than a project cost. So if fee is more than a project cost, which for happening in this case, that is the reason there is a factor. The rate is backfire, right? So that is try to answer that. Now when I want to pass out my franchisee because actually I'm actually trusting you to take care of my brand. It is like not keeping the white kid. So end of day that I be equally committed that you don't interject do something wrong with my brand. If I do something wrong with my brand, you have the book, kid me or take it. So that's how it's a partnership. It's a nurturing the brand together. You invest in my brand. I take you support system. You do what I'm expecting you to do. I will do what you expect me to do. It's to be matched together. That would work.
Okay, and what happens in a case where things don't happen the way you expect? Yeah, as an
closely my I've committed to every franchise of work. And मेरा franchisee बाहर प्रतिनिधि बना. लेकिन मुझे पता नहीं है. तो मैं तो क्या करेंगे? What I'm thinking is franchisee or what if you have a secret of the thing that make you see this is I run to sad now that franchisee can never take you more right. We work through the data can I take a maybe more under the product.
But okay. We move on to the next type of question. Anybody has any question? Then now. Yes, Jordan. What question you got?
So my question is how we are Nirav. So the biggest common seen in the states of this of work like palette for the employee basically because I think when offered in the state we generally have to work with people are having the offs or having it busy. So Peter said it better than that the last step is that how I think we got it. So how do we manage that like for the quarter honest?
It's very good. And it was settling on 20%. You would have one skin then also not sure the companies fit at once.
But I think what you raised to the very important point, and this two offices of Foodpreneurs in last 6 months, one in Delhi, one in Bangalore. Hotel industry and Australia in general, right now is facing 400% shortage of stock. And one of the biggest reason for that is people don't find work-life balance. Or you're there for work with the rest of the world is having holidays. So 2 things that as an industry I think we need to do is start paying more. And that will not mean we will just start paying 4 or 5%. Whether it would be, it has to be a significant rise.
So, our wage cost right now is 35%. On average, a normal standalone hotel has a wage cost of 22. Now, if I'm not paying my employee well, he will either not be committed or he will switch services. For the hotel industry, what we need to do is we need to start going into areas that no one else is. So Papa Street Development has just started clothing, where they are going into tribal areas and rural areas and getting those kids who join the hotel industry, because Tata with Taj is the largest stake in the industry. So they're actually paying for the training, they have a training center, and all of that needs to be done, but not just from one company. This has to be a collective effort. If hotel industry in general has to survive and grow, otherwise this situation is only going to get worse. So, to answer your question, I think we all have to be for that answer of how we can retain good talent in the industry.
Okay.
So yes, that's a very apt and perhaps the very most valid question so far. So I think for my restaurant, so almost most of the things are all right, but staff is the biggest problem. And you're absolutely right, because it's a very tough business. And it's funny thing is, most industries have a different work hour shift, right? Here it starts from 12 hours. So anybody who's working in the industry, it is 6 days, 12 hours. There is actually no way about it, and that's why the turnover is also very high. Right, so I think, like Nirav said, I think it has to be both ways. So one, that the employers have to be very generous and kind to them. Two, I think I really request all of you sitting here, be kind to the hospitality staff. Because what we do is, अच्छा ये पाकने से ये डाल दिया, वो कर दिया, ये नहीं क्या, वो नहीं क्या, उसको पाकी करनी आती है, इस पे मजाक उड़ाते हो. They come from small villages. उनको शायद तनिकी pronounce करना नहीं है, but शायद Japanese restaurant बना नहीं है. But मेरी जो restaurant में जो people are there, now it is Japanese. They all come from small and up, and they work very hard to learn the art of making sushi. So कभी आगे पीछे हो जाता है, they are people, just be kind with them. So I think it goes both ways, is why I would like to stress.
Okay, well, so I actually So, following up on this, right? What we've seen is I have a lot of people from IHF backgrounds in my team, right? And what we've seen is then was, despite the loss of the 24 hours, starting pay the industry was extremely low. And there were so many sales jobs and other jobs that were lucrative because they're out of the IHF, they're a polished person. Right? If you remember, sales jobs after it on the FFGG way that he go to IHF the buyer. So, don't you think there is to be a revision in the pay scales? That is, you. And first, see, that has to be an industry-wide thing. And I think Marriott, right, I was doing that very well. So Marriott, I'll just give you an example of someone who wrote out of the company I will not name, but Marriott. And his pay, in the same position, his pay was what happened as both in our previous happened. So, but it has to be industry-wide thing. One company doing it will not sustain. And a lot of hospitality people post-COVID, because of the insecurity that COVID created in their lives, host people move to other this. Even hospitals now have people who have a little bit because they want to go to that sequence. When I actually spoke to someone very recently who has a co-working space, and they are actually looking for great hotel staff to deal with their plans. So the scope of IT graduates is beyond.
Yes. Even in South Korea, most of customer success people, you wouldn't need that skip rate.
So, 9% to anyone can pick it up. So how do you deal with that unhappy customer? And we have seen cases very prominent where people have brought complaint. So generally, how do you deal with that particular situation? If there's an unhappy customer, Nirav or maybe Supriya.
And what of that? Yes.
Look how online review. I think it's a very sensitive question, and well, it's funny, but there are certain examples. There's a restaurant called Vidyarthi Bhavan in Bengaluru, which is only for 75 years. And when I go to Bengaluru, I don't check novels, opinions, or anything. I have to come to Vidyarthi Bhavan because it's the only one probably. There's a restaurant in Japan called Jiro, this is run by Jiro, and you should see that movie, Jiro and Sushi or something. It's just a 10-seater restaurant, and that place has been running for multiple years. And that guy's almost 90 years old. So for me also, like I said, I am on the floor almost 4 days a week. And I travel to Baroda also. And whenever there is an angry customer, I go all the way out to make sure what went wrong. And it's not that I treat him like a king of wheat. I look at it from my staff perspective also. And it's almost like a very family battle where I'm trying to understand what happened. But I give a lot of importance to it. And I make sure that either he gets the food for free, or I call him again, or I apologize, because it's really important. It really matters.
Okay, yeah, for your food after again. You man there? Unless I think any of it, oh please, the biggest thing as a failure one can do is actually hear them out. Right? If you are going to create a blog that your answer or what you've done or what your team has done is right, they don't want to listen. They want their complaint to be justified. So the first thing one is to do is actually hear them out. And no matter which party is right or wrong, at that point in time, the person standing in front of you is the angry one, and he's the one who was upset for right or wrong reason. So as a really a professional, you can what you can do is hear them out. That's probably the best way to start. Okay. See, take us to what okay, when I have a question. On behalf of every customer, before you still can function without this backup or a Swiggy, either way around this list to find out what work.
I don't have a matter of Swiggy.
Yes, so please. So one person sorted.
I mean, yeah, because on Zomato or off Zomato, your top line increase, your bottom line doesn't increase, right? Even with Zomato, Swiggy. So the industry was running before Zomato, Swiggy.
If they don't exist them already, whether it take you nothing maybe. But anyways, for the back with that, you have must died in a stop back to the pensions post COVID, right? So today, see 70% died in the 10 back for those numbers. And you look at Zomato last quarter numbers, it had 4% growth last quarter. So it's not like the market tomorrow is going, going to go on online. And I also think it's not just about for whether I go to restaurants and experience and are going for, right? Which is why we are all the not pro extreme automation of the service side. That we want to talk to the customer, I do work very stand up, you are coded, wave filled up and you notes up and then order from there. Going as well as I want to see the back. Today, digital menu is the top of the diet.
However, I slightly disagree with Shaival because these days it's not just the dining experience. It's a lot of people, especially in big cities like Bangalore and Bombay, where people do not have to go and dine and prefer just order. And especially for QSR restaurants. So if somebody is selling a sandwich or a burger, Zomato works really well because there are multiple locations. And there's also something called cloud kitchen. So in cloud kitchen, you don't have a restaurant, you're just selling food. So I think for that, Zomato is not a bad idea. The margins are very low, but the quantity is good. And they give you a set customer ready. So it kind of works for them, is what I think.
But so I agree when we are up for general online delivery, and I think we are, with the advent of government on the lines of something like UPI has released something about ONDC, the Open Network for Development of Farmers. And I think that's going to be a large no getting, these monopolies to then, for how they should be, right? Today commissions are out of bank. So at 10, 12, 50% marketplace are not bad. At 50%, the restaurants totally get money, which is where the problem lies. So I fully agree with you. The concept of online delivery, how the execution is today is not what was stated in the long run. We won't need the customer is happy. The restaurants are not happy, and the quantity of sales are not making money, right? So yeah, cannot sustain. And that's why the platforms like got great fine now. Exactly. Respond be not speak code that probably into the start everywhere else. Okay, now after yes, last one I have questions on this way down. They've just gone to customers who go into the project. If we're going to the forward city, why don't I do a discount around their stores on every dozen? There's where they hand it down. How many times have you actually done that? And the best. I mean, what we see is takeaway as a board, as a concept of the part face, or if it was the US, fully agree with you, right? There's a lot of takeaway happening. In India, takeaway bills, what you will take us to the cycle of the overall very work. People don't have this concept. A task or 50 minutes of businesses. Only one was which ask. We up the work in the pedestrian. I mean, 7:30 over, 7:30 over. But what about the government regulation? People opening a restaurant, how easy to go through the process, or how difficult it is right now? It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Supriya, what are you? Relatively. The thing of this big dad, be in it.
That is definitely it's difficult, but I think there are agents for everything up for mass level. I'm speaking like that. So because we are freshers, can you go by?
Whether it's got that the
Side because odd night, it was odd night.
So last 15 minutes, so typically when we do this panels, if we get to a panel, they ask question to you. Now the panel that's part of all this part was question, wasn't it? So Nirav, if you were to ask question to one of them, one year,
Would you still up? The two word is mentors.
one of the run up.
Good question. Not convinced yet. Not convinced yet. So you just have two and a
Shaival, one of that.
Is the so-what pasteurization of food really a problem? Like, is it really problematic if I don't need, if I eat sushi with ketchup or if afterward food has a lot of cheese, right? That is what makes, as long as people enjoying, what is, just the form of a newer culture that I think one of the most famous restaurants right now and it is called Pizza Palace. It is a, if you Italian pizza restaurant, if the water state.
Right now, and think about it. Well, one of these address with that side.
Acha, yes. So what would they do though? So where they want the bit of pension?
Into the bank on this.
So I do that. As someone who enjoys flavors and food, I personally see that if you are actually eating something which is not supposed to be there, you are not actually trying that food. So, those that if you want to eat cheese, we just eat cheese. You don't have to have a single operator or a cosine underneath it to good.
So come on, you always relate direct. So it depends on the people who are experimenting. We said that like when the what's up? Later on never told them.
So I think food is something which you should explore. Because food doesn't have boundaries. I think it changes with preferences, things with geographies, it changes with time mindset. We go explore करना चाहिए. Take it to think. Hoya, what do you want to serve? It's a chicken and egg situation. या तो आपको मसाला वाली बनानी है, बनाओ पैसा बनाओ ठीक है? या हमारे टाटा पे हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं I want to be as authentic as possible. So I'm not trying to be creative. I'm trying to be as authentic as possible. And there are people for that person.
Sterling class. Yep. Proceed after that. Offer no, we add on maybe make money is fine. Then my God was about here. On it, I was of the cancels. I still climbing pressure to ship this. It was east connected. This turrets. Why do you Yeah. Yeah, essential activity lots of restaurants. How put non-veg join. If you can suggestion it, you can go and have soap day. And we need I take the new 30, I know from very bad for stuck. I stared out of the block outlet, so we go there a lot. I think they are so simply and Shaival will make it come out and okay don't worry. And yeah, check my health. Good. We want to the next. So we are watching for I think it goes down my stack.
Of course, but that even we are part of a band. So my personal question is in general, because I also come from an analytics company. My question is that in India, especially, people are getting overstatic punishing. The job sure is so no way and software set it. How was the reaction?
So founder, freeware and meeting visit topping by meeting, topping and it. Because it was easier on top cloud-based software the way that when he connected never. Right, but I think over the years, see what has happened is food is bought to all the margin profiler becomes to the margins of 4 cover, which is where they limit every person to point the margin matter, which is something don't even do over there. Right, and I think that is why the adoption has taken place. Plus, I think the use of micros is a point in the 30 national micros they get right. But we want approachable software which can be run by less trade stuff, and I think that thing was happened, which is why we cover income. But again, also a big fan of paper.
For big credit. Some of the office such a gunner, but I just want to earn money. But I know, we see now that I do plan, expand your business, about how the food industry, because it is something which can easily they come in with it.
Partly regretted, but so what you see is yes to other businesses at some level, but they're going to be retail focused. What you've seen is see also operations. We did in the retail segment, when we have those with complicated operations, so anything that you do except for it looks much similar to us today. So we actually out of 55,000, only 500-600 are salons plus a few doctors users. There are a few mobiles of the we don't actually promote it in a base there. But yes, I mean there is a scope in there as well.
No, I have a question for Nirav and Supriya. So with the growing trend of, healthy eating in the industry, what are some of the idea of the strategy that we got to keep to what you're looking forward to in November? Just so that.
Healthy is very subjective. So healthy is again a fan. Some people say superfoods karo, vegan, whatever karo, vegan. So I think it's a very subjective thing. The focus should be on the quality of food, whatever you serve, and not really trying to serve healthy. So even if it's a big you're serving out out of a chola bhatura, make sure the quality is good. That's what I believe in.
Cool. Also, from what last question, then we'll remember. Any last words? Yes, sir.
That could be very short. I'm sure what we're ready at some. And but about 2 weeks of army be in this area. What how I will find that the paper business should be better. Well, that is backward now, Quan. And I saw, but please that be back. You'll eat very well something here, but that be the thing. I got it. These are those of the here season, especially thing cool. I think do better. Which I expect like different from my biggest season, especially better with but yeah, I just thought they've got that tip well, not pretty for about that. So offered great better for them. Ralph, how water we cleared fallen for Alfred of all the river for but you would mention page of the the show. Now, or be this, don't you even mother the assurance to be a seven in the DNA. The raw applicator, the oddly had a one deep like that. He demand me also be there. Martha, ready there for every work for expert. Out behind her further never had to know that. The upper petty ever done for work that the events are a big dog. If that was white, but went to many restaurant bring down. Okay, lots of like, find it on the table and then like, this is out of offers if you got take care of this point. But you going well to where you well to the offer.
Can I add to that? So I need to very bad point. So I was in US just about 20 days or something, and mostly people's perception of Indian food is either Punjabi or South Indian. उसके अलावा कोई category नहीं है. So by the way, I'll just show you a restaurant, Pahadi restaurant, which is at Parrot. Now, would there be idea? The thing is very right. There's an extreme demand for local cuisines. What कुछ टाइम तक I kept hearing this about Asian food. ठीक है. But now, and I'm with the US, I tried Japanese, I tried Philippines, I tried Burmese food, I tried Japanese, Korean. There are so many varieties. These are just countries. And in India, there must be like 5,000, maybe 5,000 varieties. Let's do it. As of the countries.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, everyone.
That's what you're on my bird off at question. A particularly the picture of the longest, the guy the why is it sitting on the color?
They thought it was Western and
in public, I think more both. That's such a name back. For general library.
In a minute and
okay, also, so last 1 minute, so other people will get this feedback forms from the everyone student thing. Like you can give your feedback. For I don't know to play a video and then quick list.
but I don't need to read black with the clean fast.
I'm involved. Okay. Other people do that. So I'm gonna next fan introduce which is the next topic. The next topic is what the government must see any market change depends to finger. So
The next part to get back to the back.
okay, so sending back after this menu page, we checked to pretty level or relative back. As a video with most work, all of them is the cup as you know.
So we are actually custom framing machine learning models to generate the images that you see on the water at Sweden. So a lot of restaurants don't have resources or don't want to get for Apapida. And we are actually just beeping and once you go get the follow with keyboard or things that they can do the water before.
Okay, thank you. That's what there are a lot, but visit offer. Not necessarily contract yet. And then and over favorite. So Supriya, what real advice for that? Something that work for you. I know, but I think that you whatever you want to that you can say they will be used also with point.
So I mean, if it's a very quantitative or like a very valid thing, but I sincerely believe that जो भी कहो ना, not necessarily that you have to or a business plan or but whatever you feel, whatever you're convinced about. So I will really serve one in my restaurant I eat, not because it's popular or healthy or whatever. So whatever you do, just do it very sincerely and following the work that you have. That's about it.
Okay, so then what's your thing? And like, what would you recommend? I would say, man, whatever you do with lots of passion and deep and have patience, and don't use social media out of what you can. Okay, so
Provided you have thick enough for sellers, this type of placements out there, you got the fashion.
okay, and
I think you have to be true to your product. Confidence. The other thing is that you have to accept and also follow that everyone around you, your vendors, your people who are working with you, and help be prosperous towards end of. If you're only going to think about your own pocket, then you will not succeed.
okay. And come on, what do you recommend people? Something you bother yourself that, like it's better to food is that, and the benefit is short and progress.
Please need keep experimenting. Matlab, something has not worked for me, but I have been consistent. What I have been doing for long, so that's it.
Okay, actually, the last job at that certain it is everywhere. And the co-founder of Beach Venture. Beach Venture is a global start paper. They do both English start report. But you must say in more than 10 countries. We have chapters in Singapore, Australia, Indonesia, US, Canada, Ukraine, UK, Estonia, all of the places. We started Asia 13 years back in Ahmedabad, India, but it has grown immensely in the past 4 or 5 years. We host core witnessing programs. Each startup nowadays is an opportunity for inside startup population with the ventures in Krakow, not necessarily for helping in house where you develop the larger community. We have to get feedback on the customers and get introduced to the community. We host a lot of startup growth panels as well. Startup programs are either sector or the thing specific from that, where the running favorable experience founders to share their experiences inside and interact with the community. But other thing we do is we both feature startup showships. We just approach with a small corporate gatherings of makeover folks. Teachers have a tremendous out there. Actually, we were doing about how we educate about it. Another thing we have is EHI Sports League. We started with the cricket league. We added other special. The founders of EHI played each other about playing cricket in college day. Sports is a big thing. We started with sports and we connect with other startup folks and how they can join some of our sports. We join a business partners program. Business partnering with things we post our meetups. We can check out our partner space to know more about it. We have our founders who invest all the time and energy for creation of each experience in their city. You can check out about this page to know more about us. Grab our players each the Singapore meetups, Beta days, Insights, every NCR chapter. One of these are Pune chapter, Autos needs a Surat chapter, and 1 million is a Metro chapter. Playing in some of the cities, we have a group of folks that was creating the EHI experience in their city. They would have seen not EHI winners premium offer for all. That is something that we will always want. Unless and if we have previous more resources, you will always give all that readers free and for a funnel. Then you always want the people that we have other sport folks to be there. Do check up. Okay. So I just wanted to give us the form. So typically in a technology space, you will see a lot of global organizations that have chapters in Ahmedabad. We started EHI from Ahmedabad, we have chapters available. For example, tomorrow this is EHI event happening in Bangalore. So Bangalore is all the best EHI folks are joining the EHI event. So then we have to come down about the robot and come down back. Startup what EHI happening. What technology is what EHI happening. EHI का book that event on Bangalore is all the best EHI got it up. But we cut down about it. So that is something that I feel so happy that we could create something. And now we go to this winter free tech countries. Possibly we can get to a lot of places, but then happens because a lot of people invest all that time and energy to certificate for handlings. So thank you so much everyone for really recommend group for thank you staff this short crew is in what thank you. I'm now engaging what like. But thank you so much for coming for this amazing session, and I hope you received and I hope you've been able to got like on and answers to your questions. And I hope we can fill in the feedback form and send back to us. It helps us a lot. Thank you.